Hello, I would like to know your thoughts on whether DevOps will take over cloud engineering roles. I've seen this on YouTube from popular DevOps content creators. Also, kindly share some of your online platforms for learning cloud engineering. This question is something that I would want to debunk first. There's a clear distinction between DevOps engineering and cloud engineering. There's also platform engineering. There's also site reliability engineering. They are different roles. Although, in some ways, some of the functions they perform overlap. But then the truth of the matter is, a DevOps engineer could do some of the things a cloud engineer does, and a cloud engineer could do some of the things a DevOps engineer does. Don't get that wrong. Although they are different roles. I've made a video previously defining those separate roles, so I wouldn't go into that details. But I think one thing YouTube content creators do, online content creators do generally, is to get a hook on their content. And the hook is simply to make you watch that content, although they would explain things on and on and on and on. But I don't even want to go there because that's not the kind of channel, that's not the kind of things I do on my channel. I don't do hooks, I just say things as they are. So let me get straight to the point. The short matter is there's a straight difference between DevOps and cloud engineering. They are different, although some of those roles overlap. So the fact that you see some of your favorite content creators say DevOps engineering will take over cloud engineering, platform engineering will take over DevOps engineering, one engineer will take over the other kind of engineering. In a way, it could be true to them in their world, but the fact of the matter is, the space we are in industry today, I don't see it happening quite yet. Because a DevOps engineer deals with automating, creating pipelines, maintaining relationships between stakeholders. That's not the job of a cloud engineer. A DevOps engineer takes that one step further. Although they could perform, yes, roles of cloud engineers. A cloud engineer could evolve into a DevOps engineer. Well, of course, a DevOps engineer will probably not evolve to a cloud engineer, but then there's a specialty. In cloud, if you focus on cloud engineering, there are some things in the cloud you will know much, much deeper than a DevOps engineer, while a DevOps engineer will probably know it just on the surface. And it goes both ways. So the fact that you would see a lot of people talk about it is just to gain, clout. And that is where I'll put it. That's where I'll settle that matter. I will not talk so much about it. We'll just focus on learning DevOps and being better. Because if you're just starting your career, and you're thinking about, this one will take over this one will take over this one, I see it as a waste of time thinking about those things. I've been in, previously, where I would say, this one is better than the other one. Those were times of ignorance. And I'm highly disappointed that people are actually still talking about this in 2024. That is the simple matter. Well, I don't want to sound annoyed, but that's how I feel. Saying one thing took over the other so that they would watch your videos, I don't think is the right way to go about things. And I'll just leave it at that. And I'll go ahead and answer the second part of your question really straight. And I hope that really answered that section. So, online platforms for learning cloud engineering. As you know me, I'm more focused on the Microsoft platform. I'm not saying other platforms are bad. I'm not saying they are not great. They are good for what they do. And as I've said also, most cloud platforms actually are almost the same in terms of their offerings. It's just a matter of preference and some of the extra little bits and pieces they put on top of it. So platforms to learn cloud engineering, and I'll focus on the Microsoft one here for now. So to learn cloud engineering, pretty simple. Microsoft Learn is the way to learn Microsoft technologies. It's the platform to go. Learn.microsoft.com is the website to go to learn Microsoft cloud technologies, cloud engineering, Azure administration, Azure fundamentals, Azure DevOps, Azure software engineering, as developing apps for Azure, Azure data, anything in Azure. Anything Microsoft, you go to learn.microsoft.com to learn stuff. And if it's programming you also want to learn, .net/videos is there for you. And this sort of brings me back to the other question. I just remember something now. Many years ago, about 10 plus years ago, there are a lot of people who told me, yes, Dara, you're learning C#. C# will be outdated pretty soon. Java is the reigning thing. And then I would have gone to learn Java. Of course, Java is still doing great today. C# is also doing great. C# is one of the most popular languages people actually use today. Enterprises use C#. If I had listened to them back then and not improved myself in C# and gone ahead to do other things, I would probably be a frustrated software engineer today and not be where I am today. Of course, every programming language has some bits and pieces they offer on the side, but then if you've set your mind to learn something, to be good at something, you would find a place at the table. That's simple facts. There are still people who use COBOL today, as old and dated as that programming language is. There are people who use it and still make a good, decent amount of money writing COBOL. So don't get me wrong, that something will take over the other one and you're scared that it will take your job away. I'll probably say you're not good enough at that thing for one thing to take that over. And I'll say this also to sort of come to that is, I tell this a lot, and it's not to brag, it's not to sort of flaunt my trumpet, is if I was to, resign from my job today or something happens, I get laid off, I'm pretty confident that with the skills I have, even if people say it's outdated or something will take it over in the next 2, 3, 4 years, is that I will get another gig. I'll get another thing to do within the next 2 weeks. I can say that for a fact. And it's not being proud, it's just the fact that I know that my skills are relevant. What I know are needed. My skills are needed by one company somewhere. And if at the very worst, the skill is not needed, I can build something that will use that skill adequately well and have a product on the market that will sell just fine with the skills I have. And that is where I'll answer that question. So, platforms to learn cloud engineering, Microsoft Learn is where I will actually lead you to. And also, you can check out some YouTube videos. There are some great content on Udemy also if you like to pay for the content. But of course, if you want to learn it for free, which I normally advise you to start with actually, YouTube is there, Microsoft Learn is there for you to learn those platforms. And I make some of these videos also, and I'm making more tutorials on my channel also if you want to check those out. And I really hope that answered your question. And if you have further questions, you of course know what to do. The same way you ask this question, put it in the link showing right now about your screen, or scan the QR code showing right about now, and I'll get to it as soon as possible. And it's like, come your way again yet to another video. Stay safe and goodbye.